Alright, the way I see it, JessiSlaughter just blew this whole thing out of proportion. Um, Considering the fact she started this on her own free will, and the only reason why people started hating in the first place is because she threatened them. And I get that at some point they threatened her back or something like that. It went all over the news. Uh, it's all over YouTube, it's all over the news, it's like everywhere. I mean, this is where I told you all, I mean, some time ago, that you guys need to control your kids. Like, keeping them off of bad websites and uh, stuff like that. Um, like chat roulette for. I don't think I uploaded that video yet. Well, I'm gonna start to in a bit. As you can see, uh, whatever you do on the internet stays on the internet, no matter what information you put on it. And it's like, um, no matter what, you're gonna get like all these comments, video feedbacks, and whatnot, and it's just gonna go haywire. I mean, seriously, you've seen what happened to Jessie. You've seen what happened to her parents. You uh, get like these um, hate mails. I don't know what you guys are thinking, but and it's like you try to stop it, but you end up making it worse. The only way you can stop it is if you put a block on it. And as far as my understanding, 11-year-old or a 14-year-old, it's just you shouldn't let them online. Not until they're like 18 or something, more mature than to, say that you're going to put a gun to your head and make a brain slushy. That's just, yeah, that's not parenting. I mean, as for me, I would, you know, have a parental control on. I would block every nuisance website around. Anything that your kid can make a profile on, so that you won't have stalkers or predators or anything of that sort coming after your kid. Uh, Only for the safety of, you know, kids everywhere. It's just something that you should think about doing before you even let them on the internet. I mean, some sites are okay, like kidswb.com. No, wait, they changed their name to 4Kids TV. Anyway, yeah, something like that. It's just you gotta have some control over what they do. And as for that goes, well, as far as that goes, I would have had done something about that sooner if it were my kid. Having to be a good influence and not having to, have it or having to give it a bad mouth or, come up with some anxiety of sense to, you know, create even further conflict to what's going on right now, or right there. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna backtrace your comments and give it to the cyber police. Who are the cyber police? I mean, I've heard that name before, but not that I've seen them or in person or anything. It's just, really, what are you teaching your kids? It's like, okay, you start off with a good start. You raised a kid, yes, from you know, an infant. But how far does it go whenever it gets to, like, a point where it starts to learn on its own? I mean, as far as 5-year-olds go, yes, they'll consider learning ability to live off of something like technology. And they'll learn from it, and by the time that they get old enough, yes, they will start to progress and, use everything in sight, and there you go. But the only way you can stop that from happening is if you talk to them. Tell them, you don't say this, you don't do that. Why? Give a good reason. Like, um, one, you're too young to do it. Two, it's illegal. Explain to them what laws are, what rules are. Give them a good example. What would you do for punishment? A good one. I mean, hitting is like child abuse these days. And as far as that goes, um, a kid could end up with autism. And that's the main reason why it passed for a law, is that you cannot hit your kids. Um, yeah, anything else like that is just considered a good punishment, like sitting in the corner or uh, being in timeout. You guys need to think, as a parent, what would you do for a good influence? I'm going to start off right there. As for me, I would have a kid stand in the corner with one leg up in the air. I've done that for like 2 hours straight, and I got good balance now. Seriously. My uncle came up with this rule for punishment. The only way you can get out of it is if you stand on stand on one leg as long as you can. But you got to set a time limit though, something that they can reach for. And having to learn from it, you got to set yourself a good example as well as for the kids. That's the only advice I can give you right now. I mean, what you're doing right now, most of you, uh, letting your kids on the online at the age of 10, 11, well 10 to 16, bad for you. I mean, most kids, yeah, they've learned, you know, most of the time that they don't want the stuff that's coming towards them, like predators and stuff. Yeah, they don't do that. So teach your kids the same. The way I figured, you guys have a variety of choices, but you only select one. You need to select more. You need to give it some attention to a point where you get to talk to them, bond with them, give them reasons why. As far as that goes, you're, you're good as gold there. If you listen to this advice. And I hope you do, because these kids are way out of control. I've seen kids at the age of 16 on the streets doing drugs. And why? Even younger. Why? Because parents do not pay attention to what they're interested in. And as far as that goes, um, try not to be hip, because if you're like over the age of 60 or 40 and it's like 1995 and something like that, and no, 2000, and you're trying to catch up to their speed, don't. Unless they want you to, but don't. The thing is, they have um, this thing about privacy. It's nothing bad, but you got to talk to them. I mean, they can consider on doing something that's relative to bad influence, but that's where you step in. Talk to them. Now that I've said that, I don't know whether or not if I feel relieved, because I don't know if anybody would listen. It's been a while since anybody listened to good advice. Mine, anyway. So I'll leave you at that. This is Will Myers, and I'll see you later.